Welcome to Regionalised. This is a development video for terrain types. It's still sort of early days, but essentially it's something I've been meaning to do for a long time. I sort of mentioned it earlier in a video today, and I thought, I should just do it. So I have, but it's a little more complex than I first thought. I'm pausing that because I'm thinking, because basically what I've done, for example, this is agricultural. Now, when I look, okay, well here's an example. This is Syria. It's got all this green agricultural stuff. Oh, I remember this bit. This is the refugee camp. That's the last sort stand. But anyway, so it's all agricultural, and I thought, well, that's never really settled with me, because I have felt that when you look at these images, this is sort of desert, but it's supposed to be a mixture of both, and it was never really, there's no difference between the terrain types as far as I can literally remember. There might be subtle differences in the movement, but there's not much between them, but they don't look brilliant. Now, I've made a change, and I've been meaning to do this, and it's theming terrain across it's theming games across regions. Now, the only thing to say is that I'm not entirely sure whether I've made the right move here. I've got 22 regions now. Now, all I really had before was Africa, Asia, Europe, Middle East, North Africa, South America, North America, South America, and that was it. So I've added all these other ones, and the whole idea is I have different terrain types for each one, but I won't really. But for example, I might have in Northern Europe, one terrain tile might be different to Eastern Europe. I haven't got Southern Europe in there. I guess that might come under Western Europe or Eastern Europe. I don't know. I sort of wanted to think ahead with regards to doing this, but I'm not sure whether I should have just stuck with the basics and maybe added a couple extra, because I've got 22 changes every time I make a significant change now. But anyway, the point is, because of the way the games work, I can't update that. So if I update this, it's not changed. But this is a Middle Eastern. This is classified as Middle East, and there's a new Middle East tile. So essentially, if we go down here to the first one I did, because it was the one I remember has these tiles, and you can see it here. There's obviously this is Raqqa, and there is the agricultural. But there's the new agricultural tile. It's more suited to the Middle East. Now, in theory, everything should be themed. So I should maybe do these orchards and maybe make those a brown as well. Whatever this is supposed to be, make that more of a brown. So everything will be more brown, just like the Middle East is, if you were to look at it from an aerial map. And I'm not sure whether these really complement each other that much, or but that's the whole idea. But the problem I got, it's not so much a problem, but the reason that not all maps don't update is because they're essentially rendered. So when I make a change to a map, so all I did is open this up. I actually did make a change because for some reason it was flagged up as Yemen Civil War. I recall that being years ago. Anyway, so as soon as I go in and update it, it will then render again, and it creates like a permanent pastiche of the actual thing. So, for example, to take this one, if I was to actually play this, it will go to the proper colours there. So that's because it's not rendered a sort of a static image. These are static images that have been rendered to make, when people browse them through the internet, to make them less CPU intensive, etc., etc. So that's pretty much that. So what it means is I'll be able to theme things a lot more, even making the hills more sandy and the mountains maybe a different colour. I'll be able to change things, and in particular for the for Vietnam, I was looking at Vietnam earlier today, and that's one thing that I really wanted to do at some point. Because I've never really been happy with any of these tiles. I've tried and tried. This is not my first iteration of this, but even the sort of jungle, it's more sort of what I would think of South American jungle. So I'm going to basically sit down at some point and theme all the significant tiles, or all of them essentially, for each area. So I'll probably start off with Asia, so to speak. I'm not starting off with Asia, but what I mean is I'll start off with a main region like Asia, and then I'll just propagate that for Central, Eastern, Southern, Southeast, and probably even Oceania. So this one, I'll just copy all the tiles over into all of this. So I'm just going to do it once, but the whole idea, once I've got these ones complete, I could then say change something in Oceania, just the subtle differences to sort of give it a bit of a more of a feel for places where they are. I mean, a lot of these won't really be that different, but I want to sort of take it in that direction so that the maps are a little better through and through. Because the thing is, all the groundwork is there. All the maps are written up. It's just some of the sort of the tiles are not really that great. But I think one of the things it's going to allow me to do, and because I've sort of got a lot further with the editing tool, before I'd have to go into this hex, click it, open it, select it, edit it, return it, wait for it to come back round, and I do, it might take me 30 seconds to do one of these. And now I can just go click, 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 click. It still takes a bit of time because you've got to click them all, but it would take me to put this big block of blue. It would take me half an hour. It takes me 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes in the new system. So, but the thing is, I don't want to be too severe over it, too specific, but I think that, even an area like this probably had more agricultural, but I've always avoided the agricultural tile because it's always been so green, and that's the one that I really wanted to get. So, now that I've got that done, and to be quite honest, I might still twiddle with the colours, but I can always, sort of twiddle with them later anyway. But I did about 4 or 5, and I think this is sort of fairly good. What I sort of would like to do is to have them, have a sort of some sort of handle on the colour palettes, and I'm not sure that I've got that there, although the base of that agricultural is fairly close. It's just I copied the colour from a random part of the desert, so maybe I didn't choose the right yellow, and then just toned it a little bit over. But subtle differences. I want to make some subtle changes. I mean, even the road colours might be different. etc., etc. So essentially, I've always planned to sort of come back to the maps and all the games to sort of fine tune them, and for example, I could do a time lapse on this. It's quite a timeline on this, which is another change in development I've recently done, and that would be quite an interesting one. But this is one that it's the only one that's been done this with. It's what I call book level. Because I'm going to print these out. Every time I do 10 of these, I'm going to print it into a little book and sell it as an e-book on Amazon. The War Blog Journal of Modern Warfare. And this will be a print picture in there. Obviously, it won't be brilliant, but so maybe I'll even have to change my pictures, but maybe not. But you can see that there's a lot more information on this than I normally put in. And this was to some extent experimental, with this. Maybe I could change that, just putting that there to sort of give you an indication of what was happening. So when I print this out, I can sort of, it details exactly what happened. I might come back to this. This is almost just a prototype, but that's sort of by the by. So anyway, so we've got a new terrain tiles in play based on regions. So that's another development. I sat there thinking about it, and the more I thought about it, the more I realised I could get the basics of it done quickly, and then actually start. Because the thing is, what was holding me back, I was thinking, I'm going to have to flag everything up as a particular region, Middle East, or I was thinking actually things like desert, tropical, subtropical, Sahara, Western European, agricultural, northern prairies, or something like that. And then I just realised that I've actually had the regions already flagged up, so everything's already got a region. So that was why I expanded for a few more regions. So hopefully that will take the game to another heady level. Okay, I think you get the idea. I don't think I've missed anything out. I've only done one tile, but I might do some more later, bit by bit, over the year. And I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.